just remember it raining down ash on us.
What can you tell us about the latest information as far as our roads are concerned in the county?
Our eyes were stinging, our lungs were sore, we were breathing the smoke. It didn't matter what part of the county you were in, it seemed like there was a fire that was encroaching closer to your home, to your family.
At this point, Del Dios Highway is closed. Don't head east, you want to go west.
I looked out into the northern skies and saw a lot of smoke. There was a lot of danger to the inner city as well as to the rural parts of town.
Friends and family and people who lived over in those areas were scared they were going to lose everything.
As we had firefighters in every part of this county that needed water, that needed food. We had dislocated families who needed to feed their children. We needed to get supplies moving. We didn't have time to wait. And so out of nothing more than a parking lot, a group of determined people began to solicit donations of trucks. They began to solicit donations of water. They began to solicit donations of food. And as a result, they moved over 500,000 pounds of food and water out to people who desperately needed it. And that act of Feeding San Diego became an organization called Feeding San Diego. We have these preconceived notions of what hunger looks like. We think of the homeless population, which is an incredibly important constituency that we're taking care of every day. But actually, that's only about 10% of the families that are served by Feeding San Diego's services.
My name is Trent Hubby. I'm 62 years old, single parent. I have 3 young children. I was a heavy equipment operator, repairman. Around 2010, I was diagnosed with cancer, and that kind of changed things a little bit.
Most of the folks we're serving are seniors on fixed incomes, they're children, they're people with disabilities, they're active duty military families.
My name's Chelsea. I have a 2-year-old daughter. Her name's Charlie. My husband has been in the service for 5 years. His father before him was an Army vet in Berlin. His father was a Navy vet. It's really hard to stay positive that my husband has been in the service and we live below the poverty line. He could die literally at any point in time at work, and we're over here still trying to figure out how we're gonna make it. I have been working 3 jobs for the last 3 years of our entire marriage. For the first year of my daughter's life, I never saw her eyes.
I've seen a difference when children are fed 3 meals a day. They function better, they learn better.
A lot of times when we see students frustrated or they're upset or they're not having a good day, I would say half the time or more is because they're hungry.
And when they're hungry, their mind is on food. Their mind is not on math, language arts, literacy. It's not there. And nutrition hits all of our families.
Trying to decide, which bills are we gonna pay first and to buy food for your children.
I skip meals all the time. My husband gets so mad at me for that. But I tell him, I'm like, sometimes I have to make a decision between me eating lunch and my daughter eating lunch. And it's just reality of it. I can skip a meal a day for her.
The shocking truth is that all of the food that we need to feed everybody in San Diego County is already here every single day. It's just being wasted. We're taking healthy, nutritious food products and allowing them to go to the landfill. Our job is to take all the food that is being wasted before it enters the waste stream and get that food to families in need. We're in 180 grocery stores across this county every day of the week. We're in 190 Starbucks stores every night of the week in the dark of night. We are capturing food from the convention center, from the airport, from any number of sources, and bringing that food to local charities. We have over 245 distribution points across San Diego County where food is being delivered to families in need.
I started using the services about a year ago. My husband had just deployed. It was very professional, very polite, didn't make me feel inferior. When we do go over there, I take 2 or 3 girls with me and we make a big run of it.
Being able to shop there at least once a week has been a blessing.
My daughter loves potatoes, the boxed coconut milk too.
There's always, fresh vegetables.
Over 51% of the food that we distributed last year was produce. Where we can't find a local charity, where we don't have a community partner, we're going to fill the hunger gap in that community by providing the meals ourselves.
The summer library program where we're taking bags of produce out to places that have basically no grocery stores anywhere near them.
The people were just so excited. One thing I always heard, gosh, what a blessing this is.
They're working with one of our schools, Laurel Elementary, and doing a food pantry there.
We had our first pantry yesterday, school pantry. Almost 200 families served. And so we passed out, I think it was 5,126 pounds of food yesterday within 2 or 3 hours. And it was powerful. I mean, people walking away from the school, just happy. And it was just a powerful experience. And then watching my staff and my parents, just to have these opportunities for our families. And sometimes they're not academic, because sometimes academic doesn't happen if you're hungry.
I found myself on the other end, having a job for 35 years, having a career, then volunteering, then finding myself disabled, and then being, having to use the program. In the end, it wound up helping me too. Thank God.
Feeding San Diego has only been around 10 years, but it's already the largest hunger relief organization in San Diego County. We have a lot of room to grow. We know what it takes to solve the problem. We just need the resources to scale it up and to solve this problem for everybody who is facing food insecurity.
Feeding San Diego has filled in the gap. Let's say the kids needed shoes that month. Okay, so we bought tennis shoes for all 3 kids. That would cut into our budget for food.
This has been such a relief for me that I can actually spend some time with my daughter and actually see her, eat dinner with her. If it wasn't for you guys, we would have been toast a long time ago.
I just want to say thank you that you guys would even that an organization like Feeding San Diego would consider partnering with Oceanside. You have no idea the impact you're going to have on this community.
Thank you to all the people and all the companies that donate food, money, time. Thank you.
All those things as a child, they impact students. And so that's why, when they get here, we're doing things to make them not just forget about that, but to make them think, dream big.
Just one meal can literally change somebody's week, can motivate them that somebody cares, that we're here to help each other.
Together, we can solve hunger.